All right, get ready because today we're going deep, really deep into McDonald's ingredients.
McDonald's, huh?
You guys sent in some seriously interesting research from Dr. Paul Saladino.
Ah, yeah, I saw that.
And well, it turns out there's way more to those Big Macs and McNuggets than we think.
More than meets the eye, huh?
Exactly. So we're going to break it all down, like what really goes into that fast food.
Sounds good.
And, well, why you might think twice before supersizing next time you're there.
I'm intrigued already.
It's like, you think of fast food as being simple, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But when you actually look at those ingredient lists, it's a whole other story.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Saladino really gets into that. How complex this supposedly simple food is.
It's kind of like peeling back the layers on a culinary onion.
I like that analogy.
So let's start with something everybody loves. Chicken McNuggets.
Oh, classic.
Did you know there are 4 different types of seed oils in those things?
4. No way.
Yeah. Canola, corn, soy.
And wait, 4?
4. And hydrogenated soybean oil, which is basically a trans fat.
Right.
And you might think, so what? It's just oil. But Dr. Saladino, what he points out is that these oils are high in this thing called linoleic acid.
Okay.
And we need some, but too much can actually build up in the body.
Now that's bad.
And that's linked to, like, inflammation, which is a factor in so many chronic diseases.
Even heart disease.
Even heart disease, yeah.
That's scary.
It's not just about calories, right?
Right.
It's about the actual ingredients and how they impact our health.
I'm starting to see why we're doing this deep dive.
Oh, and we're just getting started.
Oh, no.
Those nuggets also have bleached wheat flour that's processed with this chemical, chlorine dioxide.
Chlorine dicon.
Yeah, and some studies suggest it might have some, not so good health effects.
Big yikes.
And don't even get me started on the dipping sauces.
Oh, the sauces. What about them?
Sweet and sour and ranch, they both have
Let me guess. More soybean oil.
more soybean oil, you got it.
Figures.
Plus high fructose corn syrup.
Of course. It's everywhere.
It's like a sneak peek into the world of processed food.
And we haven't even talked about the fries.
Oh, the fries. Okay, pop quiz. How many ingredients do you think are in a McDonald's French fry?
More than just potato, salt, and oil, I'm guessing.
Way more. You ready for this?
Hit me.
19?
19. Seriously?
19.
Wow, I never would have guessed.
Remember that scene in Dr. Saladino's video? The one where that guy confronts McDonald's about switching from beef tallow to vegetable oil for their fries?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal, actually.
Oh, yeah. McDonald's, like a lot of fast food places, switched to those seed oils. Corn, soybean, canola oil.
Right.
Dr. Saladino thinks that this shift and just the increase in seed oils in our diets generally
Yeah.
has had a big impact on our health.
Yeah, especially because of that linoleic acid we were talking about.
Right.
Oh, and get this. One of those 19 ingredients is something called dimethylpolysiloxane.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
I know, right? But it's an anti-foaming agent. But guess what?
What?
It's also in silly putty.
You're kidding.
And then there's TBHQ, a preservative that's been linked to some potential health issues, at least in some studies.
It's crazy to think that fast food has all these things we wouldn't expect.
Right.
And some of them might not be so good for us, especially if we eat it all the time.
Exactly.
So what's next? What else is lurking in the McDonald's menu?
Okay, now let's talk about the king. The Big Mac.
The Big Mac, the legend.
Have you ever noticed how those burgers in those, what are they called? Those food decay experiments?
Yeah.
They seem to last forever. Makes you wonder what's in there.
I know, it's like they're indestructible.
So let's break it down, starting with the bun.
Okay, the bun.
It's got not 1, but 2 kinds of seed oil. Canola and soybean.
Oh, come on. Even the bun.
Even the bun. Plus there's sugar in there, too.
It's like they're trying to sneak it in everywhere.
Then you've got the pickles.
Okay, pickles.
With 10 ingredients.
For a pickle.
10 ingredients for a pickle. And one of them is aluminum salts.
Aluminum salts. What is it doing in there?
They make the pickles crispier, apparently. But there's some concern about aluminum building up in the body and maybe potentially contributing to Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's a concern.
And of course, no Big Mac is complete without the secret sauce.
The secret sauce. What's the secret?
Well, it's a mix of high fructose corn syrup, more soybean oil, caramel color,
No surprise there.
and even propylene glycol.
Propylene glycol. Isn't that an antiphrase?
You got it.
Okay, now I'm really questioning the secret part of that sauce.
And then even the American cheese, it's not really what it seems.
What do you mean?
It's labeled as a cheese product.
Cheese product, so it's not really cheese.
Basically, it means it's highly processed, and guess what else?
What?
Microplastics. They've been found in American cheese.
Microplastics in cheese. Seriously.
I know, it's crazy. It seems like microplastics are everywhere these days.
It's a little unsettling.
And here's another crazy thing about McDonald's. Even the salt isn't just plain salt.
Wait, what? There's something else in the salt.
It's got an aluminum derivative in it, plus dextrose, which is just another name for sugar.
Sugar in the salt. Are you serious?
Even the salt has added sugar. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really makes you realize how much sugar we're probably consuming without even realizing it.
Right. And speaking of sugar, what about the McRib?
The McRib, that mysterious sandwich that comes and goes.
No surprise here. It's got the same trifecta of ingredients we've been seeing.
Seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, and preservatives.
You got it. The bun, for example, has soybean oil and sugar.
They really do love that combination, don't they?
It makes you think about the overall impact of all these ingredients.
Especially since they're in so much of our food.
It's definitely something to think about, but here's the good news. Dr. Saladino doesn't just point out the problems.
Oh, good. What does he suggest?
He actually offers solutions.
I like solutions.
Instead of constantly reaching for processed food, he says we should focus on real, whole foods.
Like what?
Like meat, fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats.
Healthy fats, like what?
Like tallow. You know what they used to cook fries in before they switched all those seed oils?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's about getting back to basics, you know?
Yeah, like nourishing our bodies with real ingredients.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive.
That's good to hear.
Dr. Saladino actually shares a ton of tips for eating a whole foods diet on a budget.
That's really helpful.
So we've navigated this nutritional maze that is McDonald's.
It's been quite a journey.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
Oh, what's next?
Next, we're going to see how some other fast food giants stack up against McDonald's in terms of ingredients.
Oh, I can't wait to see what we uncover.
Stay tuned.
I'm hooked.
Wow, I'm kind of blown away by all these McDonald's ingredients.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
I don't think I'll ever look at a Big Mac the same way again.
It's amazing what we don't realize is in our food.
Right.
But before we move on to other fast food places, I think we should talk about moderation.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I mean, some people are probably thinking, okay, so McDonald's isn't the healthiest, but can't I still have it sometimes?
Exactly. Like, it's convenient, usually pretty affordable, and let's be honest, sometimes you just want that taste.
Yeah, and it's not about never eating fast food again.
Right.
Dr. Saladino talks about finding a balance.
Like, what kind of balance?
Like focusing on whole, unprocessed foods most of the time, maybe 80%.
Okay.
And then allowing yourself some flexibility for those occasional indulgences, that other 20%.
What's that 80-20 rule? Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about finding a way to enjoy those treats without feeling bad, you know?
Without the guilt trip.
Exactly.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit and see how other fast food chains compare to McDonald's, ingredient-wise.
Okay, sounds good.
We're starting with another big one, Burger King.
Burger King, home of the Whopper.
They're known for their flame-broiled burgers, but let's see what's really going on in those kitchens.
Let's do it.
Well, their fries also have that dimethylpolysiloxane.
The silly putty ingredient.
The one and only.
No way. They use it too.
It seems to be pretty common in fast food fries.
Huh, interesting.
And their chicken nuggets are pretty similar to McDonald's. Multiple seed oils, including hydrogenated soybean oil, plus a whole bunch of artificial flavors and preservatives.
It's like they're all using the same recipe book.
It really seems that way. Okay, what about Wendy's?
Wendy's, the square burger folks.
They try to present themselves as a little more, premium.
A little fancier.
Yeah, but does that mean better ingredients?
Good question. Let's find out.
Well, their fries are also cooked in a blend of seed oils.
Like corn and soybean oil.
Yep, corn and soybean oil.
That's surprising, I guess.
And their chicken nuggets. Any difference there?
Let's see. They do have a mix of seed oils, but they also have this thing called hydrolyzed corn and soy protein.
Hydrolyzed.
Yeah, it's basically a flavor enhancer, but it's heavily processed.
So even the premium places aren't immune to using processed ingredients.
Seems like it.
It makes you wonder if any of them are truly different.
Right. Like, are there any good guys in this fast food world?
What about Taco Bell? Let's head south of the border.
Taco Bell. Good idea.
Their seasoned beef, for example, has maltodextrin.
Maltodextrin. What's that?
It's basically another type of sugar.
Oh, so more sugar sneaking in.
And that nacho cheese sauce. Modified food starch and disodium phosphate, both highly processed ingredients.
Wow, so Taco Bell's not off the hook either.
It's like they're all using these additives and processed stuff to create those, signature flavors that we crave.
But flavors we just can't resist.
And let's not forget those tortillas.
Oh, yeah, what about the tortillas?
often have preservatives and dough conditioners.
It really shows you how even simple ingredients can be processed.
Okay, now for the big test. Subway.
Subway, the Eat Fresh Kings.
They built their whole brand on that idea of fresh ingredients, right?
Right. So are they actually eating fresh?
I'm skeptical, but let's see.
Let's dig in.
Let's start with the bread.
The foundation of the sandwich.
They've got all those different kinds of bread.
Right, all those choices.
But their white bread, it's got high fructose corn syrup.
Seriously, high fructose corn syrup in the bread.
And azotocarbonamide.
Azotocarbonamide, that's a mouthful.
No, right. But it's a dough conditioner that's actually banned in some countries.
Banned. Why?
Because of potential health concerns?
So much for eating fresh.
What about their meat and cheese?
Yeah, that's the other half of the equation.
Well, a lot of their meats have nitrates and nitrates.
Those are preservatives, right?
Yep, and they've been linked to an increased risk of some cancers.
That's not good.
And their cheese. It often contains cellulose,
Cellulose,
which
yeah.
is an anti-caking agent,
Yep.
but it's made from wood pulp.
Wood pulp in my cheese.
It seems like even Subway, with their health-focused image, uses processed ingredients.
It's a good reminder that we need to look beyond the marketing and actually read those ingredient lists.
No matter where you're eating.
Exactly.
So after looking at all these different chains, what's the takeaway? Are any of them truly different?
It seems like processed ingredients are just everywhere in fast food.
No matter where you go.
Whether it's seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, preservatives,
They could all have negative effects on our health.
especially if we eat them a lot.
But ultimately, it's about personal choices.
Right.
Being aware of what's in our food and making informed decisions.
And moderation, always moderation.
Exactly. Let's circle back to Dr. Saladino's recommendations.
For a healthier way of eating.
Yeah, he's a big advocate for that whole foods diet.
Right, focusing on real, unprocessed ingredients.
Things like meat, seafood, fruits, vegetables, healthy fats,
The good stuff.
and minimizing processed foods, added sugars, refined grains.
It's all about nourishing our bodies with the best ingredients.
He also suggests cooking at home more often.
I love cooking at home.
Me too. You have so much more control over what you're eating.
And you can experiment with different flavors and recipes.
It can be really fun and rewarding.
Definitely. And guess what? Dr. Saladino shares a ton of tips and recipes on his YouTube channel.
He does. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super helpful.
So what's the big takeaway from Dr. Saladino's approach?
I think it's that healthy eating doesn't have to be super complicated or restrictive.
Yeah.
It's about making smart choices and choosing real whole foods over processed options.
Whenever you can.
Exactly.
It's about finding a way of eating that works for you.
That nourishes your body and makes you feel good.
Now, we've talked about healthy swaps in general, but let's get specific.
Yeah, I like specific.
What are some practical tips our listeners can use in their daily lives?
Well, instead of grabbing chips when you're hungry, try some nuts or seeds.
Good idea.
They're full of healthy fats, protein, and fiber.
And instead of soda, how about water, unsweetened tea, or sparkling water with some lemon or lime?
Perfect for staying hydrated without all that sugar and artificial stuff.
And for meals, try bigging your plate around lean protein, colorful veggies, and healthy fats.
Sounds delicious and nutritious.
Dr. Saladino also says we should pay attention to portion sizes.
Right, not overeating.
Listen to your body's hunger cues. Eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed.
That's a great tip.
It's a good skill to learn.
It can really help you have a healthier relationship with food.
And you don't have to change everything overnight.
Small steps. Right.
Exactly. Small, sustainable changes over time.
That's the way to do it.
So we've explored all these McDonald's ingredients
Compare them to other fast food places.
and talked about Dr. Saladino's recommendations.
It's been quite a deep dive.
Now it's your turn to share your thoughts. So we've gone pretty deep into this fast food world.
Yeah, deeper than I thought we would.
From those sneaky McDonald's ingredients to Dr. Saladino's healthier alternatives.
It's been an eye-opener for sure.
But now I want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
How has all this info landed with you?
Are you looking at fast food differently now?
Maybe a little more wary of those drive thrusts?
Or maybe more empowered to make better choices, knowing what you know now?
Because, let's be honest, fast food is everywhere.
Yeah, it's part of our culture, right?
It's convenient, it's affordable.
And sometimes you just can't resist those flavors.
So how do we deal with those cravings while still trying to, be healthy?
That's the big question.
We talk about the 80-20 rule.
Right, focusing on whole foods most of the time and then allowing yourself some treats.
What do you think about that approach?
Does that seem realistic for you?
And remember, moderation is different for everyone.
What works for one person might not work for another,
It's about finding what works for you, what you can actually stick with.
and not feel deprived.
So, we've mentioned some healthy swaps.
Right, like instead of chips, try some nuts.
Instead of soda, water with lemon.
But we want to hear your go-to alternatives.
What are your tricks for dealing with those fast food cravings?
Do you have a killer recipe for healthy chicken nuggets?
Or maybe you found a brand of fries that's, actually good for you.
Share your tips and tricks. Let's help each other out.
Because healthy eating shouldn't feel like a punishment.
It should be about enjoying good food that makes you feel good.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into McDonald's and all things fast food,
What's the big takeaway?
I think it's that knowledge is power.
Knowing what's in your food gives you the power to make better choices.
And don't be afraid to experiment in the kitchen.
Yeah, cooking can be fun.
Healthy eating doesn't have to be boring.
There are so many delicious and healthy recipes out there.
And most importantly, be kind to yourself.
It's a journey, not a race.
There will be times you indulge.
And that's okay.
What matters is that you're making conscious choices most of the time.
Trying to nourish your body with the best ingredients.
And don't forget about Dr. Saladino's YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got a ton of great information on healthy eating.
He's a great resource.
Definitely check him out.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned something new.
And that you feel empowered to make healthier choices.
Until next time, happy eating.
See you guys later.